Okay, we're back with Dailies today, right here on the Morning Crossfire, 99.3 Nigerian. For my name is Kofi Bartels, and I want to introduce a special guest, somebody who's here, who you've not heard from before.
You think anybody's going to believe that? Good morning, everybody. Happy Easter. Spare your thoughts for the late Jimi. There was a tribute to him yesterday at Freedom Park. And the very moving tributes were made. I contributed my own, for want of a better word, my own widow's mite to the tributes. And just spare a thought for him. He's going home this week.
Oh.
Yeah, I think he'll be going home like Wednesday. That's how we say when people are being buried. But he's so rest in peace. You had, like I said yesterday, his generation of artists and so on, the likes of Fela Kuti and so on and so were devoted to their calling and to their country. Jimi could have been a multi-billionaire if his focus was on making money. He would have been long gone. But he lived and died in Ekpara, and those are those that inspired us. I don't know who's going to inspire the younger ones today. Yes, that era is gradually going. So we are now in the era of multimillionaire. If you're not a billionaire, you're
nobody.
You're nobody. And that is not going to push our country anywhere, I can assure you.
Uncle Jimi, Disu, good morning once again. And
Morning,
sir, we're starting Daily Trust, but I don't know which headline you
Not Daily
like.
Trust. You always turn it upside
Oh,
down.
really? Are you sure? Okay.
Paper is like that.
Okay. Anyway, thank you. We're looking at the Vanguard's editorial, and they're choosing to go with President Tinubu at 72.
Yes, it's a bit late in the day. They are 1 week late. But they pay tribute to President Bola Tinubu at 72. And they, in all honesty, they wrote some remarkable things about him that you cannot deny. For example, they say that everybody wants to be president, but how many people get to achieve that lofty objective? And they say that Bola Tinubu is the only political leader who put two presidents in Aso Villa, Buhari and Tinubu himself. And they talked about how he co-engineered the APC and so on and so forth. They also say that the road to the villa was strewn with many dangerous obstacles. And believe me, Kofi, I agree with them. He defied all that was said and written about him and overcame Buhari's initial hostility to his presidential ambition. On March 1, 2023, the chairman of INEC pronounced him president. Yes, if you sit back and think about Tinubu's emergence, I think he was the eighth wonder of the world. List of it, even this birthday that they are talking about is controversial. Everything about him, his birth, schools attended, work done, a lot of false claims that he put forward because they were denied by the necessary parties. But he ended up being president. And that is why I say is the eighth wonder of the world. Perhaps the biggest wonder of it all was the Bala Blue episode. He didn't campaign. Okay? That guy knows Nigeria much more than you and I. You have to admit that. He didn't campaign. When he opened his mouth to say anything, it was Bala Blue. I had written him off that whatever. And yet, he still showed up.
He also faced trial. He was put on trial. And says that the Vanguard says that unlike most other presidents who are sponsored by political forces and godfathers, Tinubu personally plotted. I like the word they used. He plotted his way to the coveted seats systematically and strategically. He has the uncanny ability to position himself in the right place, even when others are following the broad way that eventually led to their perdition. And so they also talk about his Nadeco days. And they also, and I also agree with this one, they said that Tinubu wisely celebrated his 72nd birthday on Friday, March 29, in low-key to reflect the current state of the nation and so on and so on. Well, all said and done. I find if you look at his political trajectory, I think in that sense, you've got to give him kudos. Whether you're going to give him kudos at the end of his tenure is debatable.
Okay, that's a good way to learn. So you said they're a week late, but maybe they're just trying to obey the president, give his wishes of not
Who is that?
Vanguard.
You said what?
You said they're a week late with their
No,
editorial.
a week late because the editorial should have come on his birthday.
Maybe they were trying to obey his wishes.
Possibly.
Okay.
But Tompolo didn't. They took his ad.
But by the way, you missed for yesterday. Of course, you were observing your off day.
Yes.
Your friend Jimi Ibrahim splashed his certificates, his degrees, and academic qualifications on
What does he want?
front pages for.
He wants to be governor.
Yeah.
Well, it's up to the Ondo people. Anyway. Ondo people are exposed, they're educated, and very intelligent. People need to understand that 20 has nothing to do with either being intelligent or not. But the Ondo people that I know are highly principled people, and that came out when there was an attempt to put Omobori Owo on them, over them in 80. When was it? 83, 87 or so. And they had to retract. The PDP, the NPN then had to retract that attempt. Let's see how far it goes. It's a free world now. In politics now, you can get away with anything. That has been proven. You have enough examples to go by. You can get, if you murder somebody in full glare of the public and record it, you can still end up being president.
That's just an example, nothing related to Jimi Ibrahim.
No.
But it's quite interesting that people are now candidates, or intending candidates are now having to splash their academic records on front page.
Well, the newspapers have to make money, don't they? I mean, they got to make money.
Okay.
They should bring some of the money here.
Yeah. I definitely agree with you that. In keeping with our look at editorials this morning, you've chosen to look at the editorial of In the Punch today. The second one, Palliatives demean the people. Who is saying that?
Yes, it's a Punch editorial. This has always been my attitude to this nonsense idea of palliatives. It's a complete insult to people. I can understand if you've had a ravaging storm and you're in some kind of IDB camp, there's a natural disaster, then you give palliatives. But to make it a form of life, you're insulting people. And in the past, when politics was being played in the days of Awolowo and so on and so forth, people were respected. We do a lot of things, but our people lap it up because poverty has wrecked their minds. And that is what the Punch says in here. The Punch says that palliatives have become the socio-political norm of the federal and state governments in Nigeria since abrupt incursion of COVID. Since COVID is to throw palliatives at them. If they're grumbling about anything, just throw them a palliative, Easter Sunday, Governor Duoye Diri of Bayelsa State offered an interesting perspective on the sharing of palliatives, stating that the offering of palliatives was not the lasting solution to the economic hardship in the country. Okay, and then they go on, the Punch goes on to give examples and so on and so forth about how palliatives are done in other countries. It's only done in like disasters. Okay, there's a typhoon, there's a hurricane
Katrina,
hurricane this, hurricane that. Then you give people palliatives at that point. But here in their everyday living, you don't provide an environment for them to make their own money, send their own children to school, Rather, you leave people struggling, going to kill themselves for a bag of rice. And the Punch stresses here that the crucial role of government is to create an enabling environment for citizens and businesses to thrive. The Punch says that while Nigeria lacks a clear welfare program, there's a difference between palliatives and welfare program. The NHS in the UK is a welfare program.
Okay.
The public transportation, slightly subsidized, is a welfare program. That is not a palliative. I told you that in my estate, they said the whole LCDA, we have palliative for 70 people. So what are we supposed to do? Fight amongst ourselves? And my estate is one of maybe 50 to 80 estates in the neighborhood. All of us are supposed to fight for. Of course, that notice was put out for for all it's worth. In reality, you'll never know what happened to the so-called palliatives. Because why do I say so? Outside the editorial is another story here. This is from the Vanguard. The editorial was on, but this is from the Vanguard. And the story says, hardship. Some politicians hoarding palliatives. Some even took the palliatives and were sharing it at their private parties.
You go to a party, they put some things. Yes,
I put a picture on
I'm
top.
taking the credit for it. Terrible people. Who said this? Is the Oluwo of Iwo, Oba Abdulrashid Akombi, and yesterday he warned that elected political office holders hoarding palliatives are inviting God's wrath upon themselves. And I agree with him. I agree with him. I can't imagine the level of wickedness anybody would have. The palliatives is insulting enough, but to even deny people you have put in a state of poverty, you are actually inviting the wrath of God. He also advocated that palliative distribution should be channeled through traditional rulers because of their proximity to the people at the grassroots. I disagree with him. There should be no palliatives. We don't want palliatives. We want a good life.
Absolutely. So in yesterday's Vanguard, it was Bishop Kuka who said Nigerians queuing for palliatives a height of indignity.
Yes. Perfect. He said it better than I did. Do you know what? It's a pity. Oh, my God. I say in the 60s when I keep saying when I was growing up in Yaba is usually was because Sulere was just developing.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes, was just coming up. Yaba is one of the very good examples about how people should live. The high and the low live on the same street. Same street, peacefully. It used to be called Wakeman Street. You had an Oga living in his whole bungalow to himself, part this or part that, and you had his driver living just down the road in one room on the same street, peacefully.
No fence.
No fence. Up till when I was about 1920, when I go out and I come back 3 a.m., 4 a.m., I pick the key under the footmat in front of our house.
Oh my God.
No fence. So there was dignity, but what you have now, like I said jokingly this morning, is only the way we are going. The only people who will be able to talk in society or have any sense are those who have gotten rich by any which way. Because nobody asks you questions. You just turn up the Rolls Royce, and that it is.
Well, let's move to the Daily Trust. On page 10 of the Daily Trust this morning, the Inside Politics column or section, the headline there, APC tackles group as debate on Lagos governor's indigenship resurfaces. Thought it had gone away.
Sorry?
So I thought it had gone away.
What has gone away?
That debate.
Oh, the debate. No, it hasn't gone away. I'm in a very difficult position here because I like to boast that I'm a double-barreled Lagosian, on both sides.
Okay.
From Isaleko and from campus.
Oh, I see.
You don't.
Which one is campus?
Campus area now. What is wrong with it?
Okay.
You don't know Bangboshi?
Okay. You saw was in group.
You throw you across the border. Excuse me.
I'm a South guy.
You better go back to. How can you be South and be called Kofi? What's that? Okay.
How can you be?
We'll take care of that later. Anyway, back to there is a group called the Renaissance Patriots Foundation, and it's a group of Lagos indigens and elders. And so they've been putting up a fight for the rights of indigens, which is fair. But I ask myself the reality of them achieving this. I'm not saying what they're doing is wrong, no. But I'm a bit worried. They're a bit too late. We are going to talk to ourselves this morning for 5 minutes about this. Is that Lagosians sat back over the years, especially the elite. Okay, they sat back over the years and allowed, for a word that makes it look like so, I'm a bit like a comrade to them, they allowed the whole system to be infiltrated.
Okay, by non-indigens?
By non-indigens. I mean, I'm talking now, it's even, my thoughts are worse than that, because it was senior Lagosians that did Lagosians in. The elite. At the time when politics started and so on and so forth, when Funshaw Williams was killed, how many of them raised one voice?
So look at 99.
Yes.
98, 99.
Yes.
Okay.
How many of them raised a voice? We sat back, Lagosians, we enjoy ourselves, yes, and we were completely tolerant. So as far as I'm concerned, the horse has bolted. I would like somebody to go to the land registry.
okay, to go to the land registry and check the records of who owns what. For me, indigens in any neighborhood at the end of the day are the landowners. Yes, the people have the papers to the land. And the Indians have done that in the UK. Today you have a prime minister of Indian origin. They plotted their way, got it. In Scotland, it's the same thing. The mayor of London is Indian. His deputy is Pakistani. They plotted it over time. So I would say to my fellow Lagosians, we have ourselves to blame for the current situation. And unfortunately, the horse has bolted.
Are you agreeing?
Because, wait, am I agreeing with what?
With the group over this matter?
What matter?
The governor's indigenship. Are you saying it's not?
No, you cannot do it by law. Politics is a game of numbers. I'm just doing an analysis of where we are.
Right.
And to say that whilst I appreciate their efforts, we're paying back. Or they are paying back for not waking up on time. It's like they say, politics is not delivered a la carte. I like to be fair.
True.
I like to be fair because, look, one of the things I would say, for example, as an indigene of Lagos is that whilst my friends who come from Abeokuta, Ogbomoso and all these places can stay in Lagos and go and buy a plot of land in this, and I can't do that. I can't walk to the, indeed, it's difficult. It's easier for a camel to walk through the half of the needle than for me to walk up to the land registry and say, I don't have a piece of land in Lagos. I have an apartment. And that's because I don't know how to deal with the Omonile. I don't know, no provision whatsoever. But we brought it on ourselves. So for me, it's just the only indigene we really had is Fashola.
Oh, really?
Yes.
How about...
that was don't go there, please. That was non-controversial.
Okay.
Don't point your finger. Don't say a word. Do not say a word.
Right, my fingers in my pocket.
Fashola, to the best of my knowledge, is the only Lagos State indigene that has been governor in Lagos in this dispensation. Period.
Wow.
I know it's controversial, but we must learn. Unfortunately, these people are coming at a wrong time. They're coming at a wrong time, and it's done by planning. If you go to Cross River, for example, let's stretch it a little bit. There are some places in Calabar where you can buy a plot of land if you are not an indigene.
I would like to dispute that.
I go and not dispute it now. I didn't say anywhere. I said there are
places in Calabar.
Yes, there are some places in Calabar that you cannot, and I think you have the same thing in Akwa Ibom.
You have a point. You have a point.
I have an uncle. He's still alive. I can put a call through to him. I know how difficult it was for him to buy a plot. When I was a director in Compass that was owned by the governor, I asked for a plot of land. I didn't get it.
Which state, sir?
Ogun State.
Oh, I see.
That's the Yoruba State, Ogun State.
I see.
Yes. I didn't know. I asked for it that, could I get, in fact, I asked in a more, I said that it would be sad if I did all my work here as a director and I didn't get a plot of land. And the guy who would have done it, he just went mute.
Okay, can I ask you a question, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, what you said about Cross River State is true to an extent. So, like,
but you disagreed initially.
No, yeah, I step back.
You step back. I intimidated you.
Yes, but Cross are accommodating.
I did not say they are not. What I just said is, you see, there's a choice to be made. If you want to conserve your area to yourself, you have to plan it and make it work.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Yes.
When Bola Tinubu was governor of River State, Lagos State, sorry. I mean, I was at the point at time in Calabar. I used to come to Lagos, holidays, I go back. I saw Lagos as a model for what Nigeria should be. And then, Atiku Abubakar used to make his noise about if he wants to abolish, certificate of origin and all that. And when I see, that the governor appointed, commissioners from other parts of the country.
Yes.
We used to say, okay, that is what Nigeria should drive towards.
What a country should be is different from what it is.
So should we
The
not be-
Aborigines, the original owners of America, are still fighting till today. It's legitimate. I have nothing against having commissioners from other states. That's not the issue. But it is a legitimate right for indigens to fight for. It's nothing to be ashamed about. It's there.
Who is an indigen? Who is an origin?
Indigens know themselves.
So Kechuku from Ikpaja, who maybe moved to Lagos,
Give
gave birth to his children.
I'm singing my song. My song with my area is Aleko. People say we know ourselves.
Yeah.
They know themselves.
Okay, so I shouldn't point.
What point?
Man is from Lagos Island now.
Which man?
The current governor.
He's not. He's from Ogun.
Anyway.
See, the issue.
So who is a Lagosian? Who is a Lagosian?
I said they know themselves. They know themselves. When that time comes, they know themselves.
Should we not be talking about making Nigeria a society where if you
cannot
Nigerians belong anywhere?
Whether you like it or not, it's easy for you to sit down and say when they want to share something in Tekema, wherever in Ghana. Now you'll be saying a different thing.
I won't say.
No, but the truth is, whether you like it or not, indigenship will always come up in most environments. You can't run away from that. You can't run away from that. It is their right, and it will always occur.
Right.
Mainly because of the inequalities in society. In the 60s, it didn't matter.
So do you know there are Nigerians who some of them do not know anything about Nigeria. Some do. Some were born there, some migrated. Who are in Ghanaian government? Some in the armed forces, in the police. And maybe because of that Nkrumah's mentality of making Ghana the home to all Africans.
What you will discover, you see, these things we manage. And so we tend not to bring. I consider myself bold enough to tackle this subject this morning.
I'm surprised.
Yes, because
usually
it's not something people want to talk about, but it is there. Somebody should come and translate the meaning of Ikusinu to this gentleman. What does it? I need. Can somebody tweet it? I don't know how to translate it. You see, whether you run away, whether you like it or not, I give you a challenge. Go to Alaba Market and identify 20 people who have stores, full-blown business stores selling electronics that are not of Eastern origin. You can't run away from these things. You can't run away from these things.
Okay, maybe change is constant.
Yes, I agree. So let us go to the news.
Sorry, sir. Sorry, sir. Let's take the news. Sorry, sir.
Let's have the news. I've ruffled a few feathers this morning, but
you spoke your mind.
I spoke my mind.
Yeah.
Okay, here is the news. Blind mother of twins held in hospital over delivery bills. Another one. Police begin probe as gunmen kill one in Ogun. Man arrested for stabbing brother to death in Bauchi. 8 arrested as hoodlum killed Unimade lecturer on campus. Ogun fashion designer Sheriff Alabi has been stabbed to death.
Oh my God.
This one is terrible. Man to face trial for defiling underage boy.
Again.
Yes, this story is coming up later. Maybe I should just quickly take it now. Police go after hoodlums for raiding night bus, and I think they also set the bus on fire. You see, that I told you that in committing these crimes, there's also an element of anger. It's not just what you are having is a quiet revolution, a build-up of people who are angry and are taking advantage of the weakest link to show their anger. Many citizens are angry. Whether this is of course, this is not the right way to show whatever, but we need to understand that there's an element of anger in crimes, in some of these crimes that are committed. Otherwise, why would you burn the bus? La SEPA promises enhanced air quality, and lawmaker opens subsidized food hub for constituents. A lawmaker, Omolara Oyekon Olumegbon, has opened, and she called it. This is the name of the outlet, Senator Oluremi Tinubu Food Bank. Politicians, for God's sake. Why? Politicians, but it is within her rights that she can call it whatever. A food bank is just a food bank. Ewa Raja, just come and buy and go. but you have to go. There was an opening ceremony. Anyway, the good thing is that the residents are at Oluwole Park, Idumota. And the food items for sale at the market include rice, beans, bread, eggs, chicken, palm oil, noodles, vegetables, yam, and spaghetti. Okay, so that's that. So let's go to the health. Sheriff and I. Hi, Sheriff.
He's okay. He's almost done.
Sheriff and I have a passion about this HealthWise Plus page, and this one says that father of toddler hit by NDLEA bullet declares delay in visa processing, and the child is at the risk of permanent blindness. NDLEA H3 bullet hit this small child.
Uncle Jimmy, they killed his elder brother. And then many of the bullets hit. So they've lost a child already.
Rural doctors, nurses get conditions for arrears payments. Women who abuse fertility drugs risk ectopic pregnancy. A gynecologist warns. Ectopic, that is when you have the pregnancy in the ovaries or whatever.
My God.
This is another health news we have here. Malaria raises risk of miscarriages, deformity in early pregnancy. This is according to Rosiji. Okay. He is a consultant obstetrician at the State University Teaching Hospital, Dr. Babatunde Rosiji. Says that malaria can adversely affect pregnancy in all trimesters of pregnancy. So you got to be careful. Government neglect and prioritization of cheap labor is killing the nursing profession, says nurse. So those are the health tips we have for you for this week. We give Punch, the kudos for having a whole full page every Tuesday on health.
Yes, sir. That story from NDL is really sad, and they've been asking for Marwa to say something about it, and they still not.
But it's unlike him.
Yes. They lost their child.
It's unlike him.
Yeah, one boy is gone. And
I'll have a way I can call his attention to it. It's quite unlike Marwa.
Yes.
Marwa is one of the best when it comes to choosing a governor for Lagos. I will ditch the issue of indigenship to vote Marwa governor of Lagos.
Okay.
Because for me, getting the job done is the most important. And he didn't even, to be fair to him, he didn't trample on indigenous rights.
I see.
You see, part of the problem is not only do you have non-indigenous, then indigenous who trample on non-indigenous who trample on indigenous rights. Marwa never did that.
So you prefer
he gave honor to whom he was due.
So you prefer a non-indigen who will respect indigenous.
It's not about me now. I'm just don't ask me that question.
All right, sir.
I'm just
all
going
sir.
to dodge that bullet.
But by the way, I know they're in Delta State. In case you can always.
I will get the story and contact the general.
Uncle Jimmy, we have to go.
You have to go.
Yes, we have to go. It's been a pleasure. You'll be back by 9.
I hope so. Yeah.
You're not just.
I'm trying to get.
You're still booting.
I'm still booting.
Tell me why you're still booting now. Okay, I'll say it. All right, we'll go for a break. We'll come back after that, and we'll take the news at 8, and then we'll look at some more stories, conversations right at Morning Crossfire. Uncle Jimmy will be back by 9 with Daily Digest. I'm making a date then. My name is Kofi Bartels. See you with us. Good morning.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.